Hi, it's Doug Holland, LMT, with another massage tip for massage professionals. You know, we're all locked down right now because of the COVID-19 situation. So I thought, well, maybe I'll make a couple of videos. And today's subject is going to be how to save your thumbs. How to save them. I work on quite a few practitioners of massage. And they say, Doug, how is it possible that you have been able to do over 20 years of deep pressure thumb driving, whether it's reflexology or muscle stripping, and your thumbs don't bother you? How come they don't hurt? And I say, actually, they're stronger than they've ever been. And I try to explain to them my body mechanics and why I think it's really helped. And so instead of continually re-explaining it, I'm going to tell you what my tip is. So first, what we'd like to do is discuss, if you haven't seen my previous videos, by the way, on how to do thumb driving, you can watch it. But just as a quick overview, I use this particular tip of my thumb right here. So if we know the super anatomical structure of the body, if we're looking at that, this is the most lateral aspect of our thumb. If the thumbs are pointing out, this is the most lateral aspect. So if we just drew a little oblique line right through this part of the thumb, see right here, if we just drew like a little oblique line, this is the corner. You can almost see mine, it's flat from all the years of pressing. You can actually sometimes even develop a little callus there. I don't, because I keep it lotioned and everything. But this is the part of the thumb that I use because when I apply pressure with this, and I use a lot of pressure, I take that load and I drive it straight back into the radius. And that's really, really important. And the way you do that, at least I do that, it might not work for you, but what works for me is I keep my fingers apart about this far. I pretend that my hand is like a crab claw, right? And open up real wide, but just like this, almost like the pinchers are close together. Now there's a reason for that, because we want, as we apply pressure to this tip of the thumb here, we want to drive the load back into the radius. We don't want the thumb out here, because if the thumb starts coming out here and all the walking and pressure is out here, we are going to really affect the flexor pollicis brevis. That's the flexor that pulls the thumb in. You start having the thumb out here, this will start to burn. You know that you're causing problems when this thenar eminence starts to burn. And it's probably going to be that flexor pollicis brevis. That's going to be the first one. Your abductor is going to start to bother you. Your extensor is going to start to bother you. But you'll feel that burning sensation starting in here. And you'll start doing damage to your thumb. So by keeping the thumb like this, more in line linearly with the anatomy of the bigger bones, you will keep pressure from pulling those muscles away. Now, how are you going to be able to thumb walk when your thumb's like this? Well, here's an example. Let's see if the camera can show it. If I take my thumb and I was just simply to walk it like this will fatigue very, very quickly. But if I include wrenching of the wrist, so internal rotation, as I drive, I'm taking all the work out of these smaller muscle groups, and I'm using the radius and the muscles that are attached to this to actually do the driving themselves. So use the larger muscles of the arm, okay, to do the work, and use your thumb as a stabilization and just a driver into the tissue itself. It's the same thing if I was doing muscle stripping for neuromuscular therapy, right? If, let's say we take the brachioradialis, for instance, if I was just to walk my thumb like this, see if the camera's even showing it right. Yeah, look, if I had my hand out like this, that's going to cause me a lot of problems. Versus if I clamp like a crab, and then I add wrenching, see? So now I'm saving my thumbs. Wrenching is how you save your thumbs. Keeping your thumb closer to these fingers is how you save your thumbs. Thinking not biomechanics, but body mechanics. Thinking of how that pressure should go. Because let's face it, the skeletal structure of our body is what takes load. The muscles will fatigue very, very quickly if our body mechanics are not in proper formation. The body wants to stand as tall as possible and load go directly down through our heels. So if we're bent over too much, we know we're going to have a low back issues. The muscles are going to fatigue. All the extensors of the low back are going to fatigue. Same thing with our neck. If we're holding our head down, all the neck extensors. It's the same thing with our thumb. If we're using these smaller groups for stabilization and we're not using the bones and putting that load on the bones, we're simply going to wear out the thumb. That might sound like a long-winded statement, but that's my best advice. I hope you can apply it in your own practice to help your own patients. I think it will. But just remember this. If there is no discomfort to your patients as you're working on them, well, then it's nothing more than a foo-foo massage.